What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Combat Lounge. Today I have a special guest for you guys, Archie King Colgan.
Now fires back. Oh, there's Fury with the right hand. Wilder's hurt. Wilder's hurt. He wobbled. He almost fell over into the ropes. He is close to going out.
Hey, bro, I know the end of that video made you. I know that was like, damn.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
mean, we've all seen it, so it is what it is really at this point. But yeah.
Yeah, man. So what's going on, Archie?
Shoot, not much, man. Just I fought about 2 weeks ago, almost 2 weeks ago, not even. And yeah, got
Yeah,
some.
man. I was there. By the way, we're gonna start off this interview. It's probably gonna make you laugh, but it was requested. Shout out my man Dylan Rush.
Hey,
That's my boy. But he wanted the shout out, so I had to give it to him.
So shout out my boy Dylan Rush. He's the man. Yeah, he's the shit. He's doing his thing, and he's Mr. Worldwide. He's
yeah, man. That's my boy. But anyways, man, I wanted to ask you. Let's start it off. How did you get started in MMA? Like, what drew your interest? When did you get started? How did it all come about?
I mean, the same interest that it draws everybody at first. I was a young kid who was a wrestler, so I'm already in like combative sports, and naturally, I think a lot of young boys like boxing and fighting and stuff like that. So I was drawn to boxing and MMA young, probably 10 years old, and just became a fan. And I've always been kind of involved with MMA in that way, just as a fan, really. Never thought I'd fight. Went through college, went through high school, went to college, graduated. Still didn't think I was going to fight. And the right things led at the right time. I met the right people. Just never turned back, and I'm more happy than I've ever been doing this.
Yeah, man. And like your last fight, for instance, just to bring that up, you fought Justin Montalvo.
Yeah.
I think he was undefeated as well as you.
Yeah, he was 5.
Was that a fight you kind of wanted, or was that a fight that just was presented to you? Because I think that if I remember correctly, that fight was made and then it got canceled, and then you had a fight and then it came about again.
Yeah, correct. So the fight was made. It got canceled. I think he got injured. But yeah, the fight got canceled, and that was the fight that I wanted for sure. When I accepted it, it was like 3 weeks notice. It was pretty short notice. And then, when I had the opportunity after my last fight in November to call some names, he was definitely one of them. And I asked my manager if he could make that happen, and he did. And it wasn't like any beef or nothing like that. It wasn't like I disliked the man or I had anything against him. I do now. I do dislike him now. I do have things against him now. But at the time, it was just like he's a 5-0, 4 finishes. I'm 6-0 with 5 finishes. This is a good fight. Like, we both want to be that guy. We both want to get steps up to that level. So I wanted that matchup. So that was it. And then now, I don't like the guy.
What kind of walk me through the series of events? Like what happened that made you not like that guy?
Well, so you just can't, I don't know, you can't like disrespect and talk about my friends with no repercussion, really. There was no reason for him to do it. So the things he's just said was just that, I'm Kamaru Usman's son. And then he said, I'm Kamaru Usman. He's Leon Edwards. He's going to knock me out like Leon did. And just kept going off the Leon thing. And I was just like, man, there's no reason to draw the two into it. One, I'm not Kamaru Usman, right? I'm Archie Colgan, different guy. You're not Leon Edwards. You're Justin Montalvo, So that in itself is kind of weird to be, kind of thinking he's somebody else, or like playing a different persona and acting like he's as somebody else. That was weird in itself. And just the disrespect to a friend, a teammate of mine, I didn't appreciate. Yeah.
Someone in the comments said, is fighter beef different than regular beef?
Yeah, I probably would say so. Well, I mean, it could definitely get a little more personal, I feel like the Conor Khabib style, John Jones, Daniel Cormier. No, that's beef is beef there. Them guys are fighting in the streets. Them guys are fighting in the cage. Like, it's a little bit different, I feel like. But that beef was, yeah, I don't know. That fight beef was a little bit different. I feel like I wasn't trying to fight the guy in the street, but I was.
You definitely had it out for him when you saw him on Friday.
Yeah, I had different intentions for him than I had other teammates or other opponents that I've had.
So Archie, you fought once in Bellator, and then you went over to Eagle FC. Mm-hmm. I've seen Bellator do this before with other fighters, and I kind of want to see what you have to say about this. But was that kind of like a prove it deal with Bellator? Then you went over to Eagle FC, fought once there, and then you signed like a longer term extension with Bellator?
Yeah, that's kind of how it ended up. That wasn't the intention at first. I had that fight with Bellator, which was just a one-off. And then, I just really couldn't find anything between the time. I just had my son, so then I took a couple months off, and I was trying to find some time in between to find a new fight. Couldn't really find anything. And then I got signed up with Eagle, and I actually signed a couple fight deal with Eagle. So I was like set to be with Eagle. And, I don't know what really kind of happened with Eagle. Obviously, we haven't seen very many, if any, state shows since then. So I'm not sure if they're just tied up because like the Ukraine-Russia wars, stuff like that. But that just kind of fell through, and the blessing in disguise came up, and then I got to sign with Bellator, multi-fight contract, and I've been rocking with that since. And yeah.
Nice. So I've noticed you two you've had your own set of kind of camp, like your coaches and stuff. But then I've noticed that you've started getting work in with, I think, Elevation Fight Team with Whitman and all those guys. When did that come about? When did you start training with Trevor?
For a long time, actually. So kind of the connection here is my head coach. His name is Justin Salz. He was a former fighter, fought in the UFC, and he was a student of Trevor's. So those two are super close. They had a really good relationship, still have a really good relationship. That's still his mentor. So when I started fighting, he was always kind of picking Trevor's brain. And then I, from day one, my first amateur fight, I got, input and word advice and stuff from Trevor. And then slowly as I became more serious and got more in, I got a little bit more attention, a little bit of training here, a little bit of training there. And then I was a useful partner, training partner for Justin. Kamaru moved teams, and I was a useful training partner for him. And then really, I think that hard work and dedication and showing and proving myself really kind of shoved my foot into the door. And yeah.
Well, you're coming from a wrestling background, correct?
Yeah.
And I've seen you fight a couple times, and it seems like your striking's just getting better every single time you step in there. Trevor's one of the best striking coaches I've ever seen. His fighters, everyone he trains, from Justin, Kamaru, they're striking. I mean, Justin's 33, 34 years old, right?
Yeah.
It seems like every time the guy gets in there, he's getting better. Yeah. Most of the time when you're 33, 34 years old, you are who you are. You're not getting much better. Not every case, but most cases. Justin, it's like nobody thought he was going to go in there and handle Fazeev. A lot of people, if you read comments and stuff, were like, no, the young dogs are coming in now.
Yeah.
Justin was like, absolutely not. This is
He
still
was the
my house.
underdog. Justin was the underdog going.
He was. He was. I think he was like plus 200 or something. And
Yeah.
he was like, yeah, no, absolutely not. But yeah, Trevor's one of the best striking coaches. So would you credit mostly him for the improvements?
No, I credit my head coach, Justin Salas. He's like, he's the guy for me. And
Okay.
but directly from that, all the things that he's learned is from Trevor. So ultimately, yeah, it's like a big tree, and the tree is Trevor. He's a large branch that stems off of it. I'm a smaller branch that stems off of that. So he's learned a lot from Trevor as his coach, his mentor. I've also learned a lot from Trevor as his coach and a coach of mine and a mentor of mine. But ultimately, the real sweat equity is put in for me the most with Justin Salas, and it's been some with Trevor also. But yeah, I would say I have to compliment most of my striking talent to Justin.
Yeah, man. You seem to get a lot of support from like Kamaru and Justin actually, and um, that has to mean a lot for your career, right? I mean,
Of
just
course.
what they've had to offer you.
Yeah, of course. For a guy at my stage who's pretty like I made my pro debut 2 years ago. All right. So to be in my stage with the training partners that I have, I've built good relationships with, is like, that's to die for, really. You got a guy who at the time when we started training together, number one pound for pound in the world. Justin was top 15 pound for pound in the world. And Justin is still top 3 in lightweight in the world, and Kamaru is still the number one contender in the world at welterweight. So for me, it means a lot, but it's really just a testament to how hard I work, what I'm willing to do, and to see the footprints that have been laid in front of me. I just gotta continue to dot my I's, cross my T's, follow those footsteps, and I'll be in those positions soon.
So back to you again. You're fighting Emmanuel Sanchez, correct?
Yeah,
In
correct.
Chicago, June
Yeah.
16th, right?
Yep.
Well, I'll be there for that.
Let's go.
But what do you make of him as an opponent, and when are you going to start camp for that?
Oh man, I think he's a great opponent. He's a world title challenger, 2-time, losing both times to Pitbull. But as everybody in MMA knows, Pitbull is pound for pound one of the best in the world, across any promotion. So to lose to that guy is Michael Chandler's lost to him, and a lot of other guys who've had a lot of success in MMA have lost to him. So that's nothing to really shrug over. I think he's a good opponent. He's got a lot more experience than me. He's 20-8, so he has more losses than I have total fights. But like we were saying a little bit earlier, I think it's just the young guy. The young hungry guy is going to come in and have to clean house.
Now, I know you're having a second child, which congratulations, by the way. When's the baby due?
Very end of May.
Very end of May. What day?
I think it's 29th or 28th.
Oh, my birthday's on the 30th.
Oh yeah? Well,
Yeah, so
maybe,
I'm at
maybe.
the end of May too, man.
Might be. It might be there.
I was gonna ask you too. Like, I thought that you would be taking more time off because when we had talked to you after your last fight,
Yeah.
you said, I don't know if I'm gonna be coming back soon, just because I need to talk it over with my family. I have a baby coming and stuff like this. Is this more of a move that you kind of went home and talked to your wife about and was like, you know what, I just need to fight as many times as I can to climb to the top so that we can eat better type of thing?
Yeah, that's one of them. Shout out my wife. She's like one of the biggest people in my corner. She supports me endlessly and understands, like, I wouldn't like even bring this up as an opportunity or as an option if it wasn't important for like us. I wouldn't selfishly just bring it in and be like, hey, I think I need this fight, and just forget about my family. I think it's like the right move for our family to take this step forward. Like, it's not just me who's moving forward in MMA. Like, we have to do this together. They're part of my support system. So ideally, honestly, when I said I wouldn't fight again before my kid or around my kid time, unless a dope opportunity came up, in my head, as soon as those words came out, I was like, man, something's going to come up. I just know it. And like 3 days later, they called me, and I was like, "Yeah, we talked about it." And I was like, "Well, yeah, let's do it."
It does seem that way with Bellator, right? That they're really good at giving you guys the opportunities to turn around and fight. Now, obviously, if you went through a war or something, you probably shouldn't turn around and fight. But something like your fight, it seems like they're pretty good at giving guys opportunities. Hey, man, you want to fight here? You want to climb to the top faster? Let's get it. Fight in 2 months or fight in 3 months. It seems like they're pretty good. Are they pretty easy with you guys for that type of stuff?
It seems like it. Yeah, I mean, like so far, this will be my fifth fight total, but this will be my fourth fight on this upon this new contract where I've actually signed multiple with Bellator, and like every time that I've been like, hey, hit my manager up, it's like, hey, I wanna fight around this time. Like he's made it happen. They've made it happen. Scott or Coker and Colgan, they've made it happen, and manager Ali, he makes it happen. So I'm blessed. I'm happy with it. I was like, at first I was hesitant about this card because I'm like, dang, that's like 3 weeks after my kid's born, but we're all in. I took that last week off completely. I didn't do anything, just relaxed. And now this week kind of got back into the swing of things. Not camp yet, but because I'm still in really good shape. I'm still solid. But just kind of get back to the swing of things. Probably the same for next week, and then we're going to really hit it hard for the next 5 or so weeks.
Yeah, man. I like to ask fighters this question too. Kind of get them off the subject of fighting and kind of humanize you guys. Like, what are some things when you're not fighting? Do you enjoy doing, like some hobbies or with your family even?
Yeah, man, it's. I'm sure you hear it. It's like it does get tough because like fighting does. If you want to get to where you want to get to, like it does consume you a little bit. So I have lost some hobbies in the process of chasing this, but I'm a wrestling coach. I really enjoy going to practice and coaching these kids and giving back to what got me to this position and any other position. Like if I decided to stop fighting and I could go be successful in business, like wrestling is the foundation to that, the things I learned there. So I love giving back to those kids because, in 10 years, those kids are going to be doing, tremendous things, whether it's fighting or business or, continuing to wrestle, whatever it is. Like it's cool to give back to what gave to you. So I love coaching, and unfortunately, like cool hobbies that are, hiking and all that. I've kind of lost touch with a little bit in this process.
Hey, man, I hear you. I know Colorado is beautiful though, and it's for all that type of stuff.
Getting nice right now too. It's like 80 degrees these last couple of days. It's getting nice.
Oh yeah, you guys are lucky. I'm out here in Arizona, man, burning up.
Oh,
It's not burning up yet, but it's getting there.
It's close.
So what are some things that like do you watch movies with your family? Like what are your top 3 movies, or do you not have time for stuff like that?
There's definitely time for movies, but if I want to be completely honest, it sounds corny, but like, I'll just pop down and I'll just put on, Fight Pass and watch a bunch of fights. And my son, he walks around punching, and I got to teach him eventually that he can't just be punching people. But
You sound like me, except I don't fight. But that's all I do is just watch fights, man.
Yeah, it's tough to say. I'm not a big TV show guy really either. I kind of live a boring, sad guy life, but I wouldn't trade it because this is my discipline. Like I really enjoy. I don't like force myself to watch these fights. Like I get excited to watch fights over and over again, and just to learn, pick the brain, and just be a fan. Honestly,
when you're done after your fights, like weights made, and then you fought, and you go home and you're relaxing. What's like? I don't know if you like home cooked meals or what, but like, what's the number one thing you have to have that just during training camp, during the weight cutting process, it's like you can't touch it.
Oh, after the fight's completely?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, probably wings or wings, a nice juicy burger. Those are both like at the top of my list. I mean, a solid steak is good too, or some Mexican food. I don't know. In that list though, some solid Mexican food, a good steak, probably wings right away, or a juicy burger.
All right, call your shot. This will be the last question. Call your shot. June 16th, you step into the cage with Emmanuel Sanchez. How's the fight ending?
Oh man, bold prediction, but I am going to stop Emmanuel Sanchez, and I'm not saying that arrogantly, but I just think that guy right now. I'm gonna do it.
All righty, man. Hey, there you have it. Archie King Coleman, thank you so much for this interview. I appreciate it. Best of luck to you June 16th at Bellator 297 in Chicago. Hey, man, like I said, best of luck and, hope for the best.
I appreciate your time, Cade.
Hey, stay backstage real quick so I can tell you something.
Yep.